What is up, Gundam Meisters and Innovators? I am just a simple new type, and in this episode, we're returning to Mobile Suit Gundam 00. Last time, Alleluia and Soma have their Atherin and Kigali moment. Also, Tieria ran into Regina Regetta. This time, Tieria will dress like the lady he was born to be. Ian brings the team a new add-on to 00, and the Federation uses its secret weapon. So let's get into this. Regina tells Tieria that they look alike because they share the same DNA and that they are innovators. Regina begins talking to him inside his head. They say that this is due to quantum brainwaves using GN particles. This is how Tieria was able to interface with Veda. He didn't know that there were more like him. Regina tells him their plan. Phase 1 was to unify the world, essentially everything we saw in Season 1. Phase 2 is to use A-Laws to unite the world. Phase 3 is to get humanity to move into space. This is Aeolia's plans according to the Innovators, and their mission is to guide people into space. Ribbons, using quantum brainwaves, listens to their conversation. Everyone is gossiping about Alleluia and Soma. This makes Saji miss Luis, and Red Haro can sense it. Luckily, Red Haro isn't in stabbing mood right now. Melina barges into the room and asks Soma and Alleluia if they are lovers. She says their awkward reaction says everything. The Federation is currently dissolving Azatistan under the Middle East Renewal Plan. Setsuna thinks of Marina. Marina is with Catherine and makes her problems the children's problems. Tieria has Regina on his mind. Regina told him that he was a walking contradiction working with Celestial Being and tells him to join his fellow innovators. He then sees Neil Delandy telling him to do what he believes is right. Felt blames the deaths of Lichty, Christina, Lock-On, and Dr. Marino on Soma, even though it isn't her fault. Sergei reported to Katie that Soma was killed in action, but something doesn't seem right to her. Luis wants to use the Ahead Smoltron. Katie denies it, but Lent gives her permission in exchange for helping out in a mission. There is still a lot of infighting between Katie and Lent. The A-Laws receive new members. One is Revival in the Gadessa. The GNZ 003 Gadessa is a specialized bombardment mobile suit more powerful than the Ahead. The GNZ series of mobile suits are exclusively used by innovators. These are built off of the data of previous generation mobile suits. It is built off of the GRM Gundam introduced in 00V. Like Gundam Virtue, this unit has a GN Mega Launcher, and its firepower is greater than the Virginia-class ship. For long-range, high-speed travel, the Gadessa can equip a pair of optional leg-mounted booster units. It also has a core fighter for escaping. Other weapons include a GN Beam Saber, GN Vulcans, and a GN Cutter, which emits a GN Field. Unlike Celestial Being, these are still connected to Veda. The other is Patrick Colasar in a Jinx 3. The Ptolemaeus team watches as the Federation announces their reformation plan for the Middle East. Setsuna notes the world will do nothing about this. Currently, things are great for the Federation nations. The economy is booming and everyone is flourishing. People tend to look the other way when things are going well for them. Tieria remembers Regina mentioning their second phase being to use the A-Laws to unify the world. Unification through force is way easier than using diplomacy. Katie calls Patrick an idiot for joining them, but he says that he survived an attack from the Gundam 7 times, and people call him Colasar the Indestructible. Katie says, "You idiot, they're making fun of you, not praising you." Wang informs Celestial Being about a party being hosted by the Innovators. Tieria and Setsuna volunteer to go on the mission. Wang has set this up, however, as she is currently working with the Innovators. She shows up and notices that Tieria is there undercover, dressed like a woman. He volunteered because he really wanted to wear a dress, I guess. At the party is also Homer and Billy Katagiri, along with Luis. Her family is rich and a major sponsor of the A-Laws, and most likely the reason for her upward mobility within the military. After talking to Ribbons, she leaves the party early and notices Setsuna from years earlier. Ribbons dances with Tieria and tells him that he could give him back access rights to Veda. Tieria and Ribbons talk privately. The Celestial Being realizes that they are the reason that Natalie deactivated during the battle in the past. Ribbons says that Celestial Being's destruction is a part of the plan. It was a part of the plan in Season 1, but the Ptolemaeus team went off book. Setsuna tells Luis that Saji is in space. To her, that means he finally fulfilled his dreams. He says that he is sure that he is thinking of her. This triggers Luis getting the attention of Billy, who is leaving the party. He heads over and recognizes Setsuna as the Celestial Being from their first encounter in the Middle East. Meanwhile, Tieria says that they are right because Aeolia Schönberg trusted them with the Trans-Am system. Ribbons, who is able to read his mind, says that Lock-On and his death has made him an emotional and vengeful innovator. Tieria pulls out a gun.
Hey, nice legs.
The Innovate Healing Care. Okay, what the hell? This is the worst name of them all. At least Revival is an alliteration. Hilling shoots the gun out of Tieria's hand. He jumps out of the window, and he and Setsuna get out of there as fast as possible. Regina is off in the distance, acting all mysterious and androgynous. Even they seem to be uncertain of the future. Will it tip to the hands of Ribbons or Celestial Being? As the two make their escape, they run into Ali Al-Saachez and the Archie Gundam. They engage in battle. Setsuna realizes that it is Ali. Tieria says, "Surprise, I have arms on my shoulders." Ali says, "Oh yeah? Well, I have beam sabers on my feet." Ali is able to make his escape as Lock-On and Alleluia come to help. He tells Lock-On that he is the man who killed his brother. Regina wonders if the twin drive system that Celestial Being has is made by them, or is it a part of Aeolia's plan? Ribbon says it doesn't matter, as it won't hold up against Revive's Gadessa. Sumeragi makes plans for them to head back into space, as the Federation is on to their location underwater. Katie and Lint are planning their attack on the Ptolemaeus. Revival wants to hang out in orbit waiting for them to make their escape while they handle business Earthside. Tieria tells Lyle, "Why won't you be mad about your brother's death like me?" He says that it is in the past. Setsuna opens up and tells him that he was a part of KPSA and responsible for his parents' death in the past. This doesn't change Lyle's mindset. He tells them they are fighting for the future. Tom Cruise visits Billy requesting a new unit. He wants something with great speed and a big sword. He also knows that Alaw's next mission will fail, which is why he isn't helping. The Alaw's launch. The Ptolemy prepares to surface. Using the Transam system, the ship bursts out of the water and breaks into the atmosphere. They fire countermeasures and make it to the stratosphere. That is where Revive is waiting. They fire the Gian Mega Launcher. It doesn't do any damage, but it does knock the Ptolemy off course. Li Zhejiang and his Alof fleet are also waiting for the Celestial Being ship. Sumeragi commanded the Gundam team to launch while they were breaking through the atmosphere. Hey wait, aren't the Gundams the one who power the Ptolemaeus' Transam system? Never mind. Because of this, Setsuna gets a preemptive attack on Li Zhejiang's fleet and takes them out with the quickness. Sumeragi receives a message from Katie saying good job, but also calling her Lisa Kujo, her real name. She knows who she is. Losing Li Zhejiang, Homer is enforced to get help from the Innovators. Ian Vashti also got his hands on the Riser. 14 years ago, Union Territory, International University. A young Billy is bidding farewell to Lisa Kujo, who is a super genius and graduated early. Her goal is to become a tactical forecaster like Katie. In the present, she wonders what she should do, as she always seems to be running from her past. She wonders why Katie joined the A-Laws. Sergei is at the borders of the Seal Kingdom, a nation that held its own military strength and resisted the Federation. This nation has the influence to sway other nations from joining. If they show resistance, then other nations will follow. Catherine has lost communication with her contacts in the Middle East. Shiden wants to use their resources to leak the truth coming out of Seal, as the Federation seems to be controlling the narrative on what is going down in the Middle East. They try to contact the royal family. Shiden relays intel to Marina. She tells the princess that she needs to fight for her nation, but she is too high on that peace train. Shiden seems to be over-convincing her that peace can't be achieved without fighting for it. Katie is left in charge of the Gundam as Lint is off on his own mission. She wonders if Sumeragi is still holding on to the loss of Emilio from the past. The enemy approaches the Ptolemy, and Soma gets a braingasm, saying something dangerous is coming. Revive receives a telepathic message from Bring Stability, telling him to start the mission. I hate these names. Something fast approaches them. Setsuna launches. It is the Goratsu. The GNZ 005 Goratsu is a close combat mobile suit. Its main weapons are the GN Beam claws, which emit a GN Beam saber from its fingers. You could cross the streams and make it a large beam saber. This, along with the Gadessa, uses the GN Tau drive. Like the other GNZ mobile suits, it could use the long-range boosters. This more or less has the same basic structure as the Gadessa. Weapons include GN Vulcans, the GN Cutter, and GN Spikes, which are essentially brass knuckles in the form of a GN field. As Setsuna attacks, it uses its GN field. Celestial Being are amazed that the Federation has this technology. The enemy is able to tear through Setsuna's GN sword. The mobile suit makes its retreat. Sumeragi recognizes that they were just putting on a show of force. Tieria is certain that it is the Innovators. He isn't telling the crew about what Regina told him and wonders why he still hesitates to tell the truth. Alaw's Commander Goodman says that their new weapon will certainly take down the Gundams. The Ptolemy makes its way back to the L3 base. They meet up with Ian and Linda, his wife. She played a bigger role in the Gundam 00F manga, but is finally getting some play in animated form. Also, Ian likes him young. They also have with them a new member of Celestial Being, a new returner. A new returner? Well, obviously it's an Innovator spy because of how stupid that name is. She was brought on board by Wang, who is currently working against Celestial Being, though they don't know yet. The Vashti show off the new Riser and the Gian Archer. We will break these down next time. Patrick plays whack-a-mole behind Katie while asking for a new model. She tells him to shut up. The pilot of the Garazzo is Bring Stability. He tells Revive that they are using Memento Mori. Nina Trinity meets with Ali, who is working with Wang. She tries to kill him for killing her brothers, but he pulls a gun on her. He says, "Oh, you're that little girl from the past, but now you are a woman." Gross. In space, Lint preps Memento Mori. This was his secret mission. Memento Mori is a giant laser designed and developed by Ribbons with the help of Wang and the Federation. It could vaporize a small country and is as strong as a nuclear weapon. It is installed on one of the solar towers in low Earth orbit. This weapon is limited by the Earth's current rotation. If you miss your shot, you have to wait a day to fire again. The Federation uses Memento Mori on the Seal Kingdom. Setsuna tests the riser connected to 00. It exceeds the theoretical output. Everything up until this point has been Celestial Being reverse engineering the twin drive system. With the riser, they have achieved Aelia Schoenberg's original vision for the twin drive system. This amplifies everyone's quantum brainwaves on board the ship. For Soma, this allows her to sense that Sergei is too close to the laser and is about to die. For Alleluia, this activates Hallelujah. And that will do it for this episode. Like I said earlier, the best way to unify is to get rid of those who sow discontent. What better way to do that than a giant sky laser? Next time, the Ptolemaeus crew will finally learn that the Innovators were behind giving the UN Jian-Tao drives back in Season 1. Saji will pilot the riser, and Saji and Red Hara will also steal the riser to go see Luis. Red Hara is good to have around in case you need to stab someone. But that will do it for now, new types. Remember, you can't solve all your problems with a giant sky beam. Or can you? Peace.